Hi, class. I wanted to come to you as we're approaching the end of week 9 and getting ready to go into week 10. Just a couple of tidbits I wanted to talk to you about social mobility and economic mobility. And I think it plays a big role in class, period, and everything that we do in school. School plays a huge role in economic mobility and social mobility. Um, Economic, aka social mobility, same things. So I'm going to do a quick PowerPoint presentation here, and hopefully it won't take long to do this, and we will get through it. And so what I have on the monitor now is the whole thing on economic education investment. Why are you here? Why are you doing school? Why is that important? Obviously, it's to get your diploma and graduate. But what does getting your diploma and graduating with new knowledge, skills, ability, what will that do for you? That's what you're here for, to get new knowledge, skills, and to grow in your abilities around what you already know how to do. And adding that as you go through each course and adding additional things to your education or knowledge repertoire, rather, to help expand where you're going next. And we're going to talk about that. So economic mobility, aka social mobility, is defined by sociologists and political activists. Um, Purton Sorton first introduced the concept of social mobility in his book Social and Cultural Mobility. According to Sorkin, no two societies are the same in terms of movement allowed and discouraged. And that the speed of social mobility can change from one time period to the next. It depends on how developed the society is. We live in a very developed society here in the US. We should consider ourselves lucky that we have that. And so, such a societal shift can happen over time as individuals move from one position to another due to various social interactions, mobility more or less, and provides people with the benefit as they are motivated by different factors in society and work to reach new roles that offer them, a better standard of living. And that's all that, after all, that's what we're after, a better standard of living and greater rewards. People compete and cooperate with others in society to move up the social mobility ladder. And as you see, I have this demonstration of a possible social mobility ladder. So there are types of social mobility. They include horizontal mobility, and that is the ability to move from one income, the same income stream directly. And then we have vertical mobility, and vertical mobility can mean that we are moving up into the next level as we gain more education. We're moving up the social mobility or vertical aligns in the social mobility spectrum. And then there's upward mobility, meaning we're moving from one income to the next income. And so we're gradually moving. So I want to go back though to what I said about vertical mobility for a moment. And I want to make sure that I am giving you all of the right information there. I'm sorry, I'm just adjusting. I have to go back to my computer notes. Yes, I often use my phone to go back. So horizontal mobility occurs when a person changes their occupation, but their overall social standing remains unchanged. For example, a doctor who goes from practicing medicine to teaching in the medical school, the occupation change, but their prestige and social standing likely remain the same. I'm not a medical doctor, I'm a PhD doctor. And that's why I chose, when I knew things were happening in my world, in the corporate environment, where I was a senior VP, that may want to become a professor, get a PhD, teach, because I didn't want my mobility to shift. I'm okay with having a horizontal mobility, even though I may not make the same type of money. It's still perceived as still a high level. And then there's vertical mobility. Vertical mobility refers to a change in the occupation, political, or religious status of a person that causes a change in the societal positioning. Now, you can have a both a horizontal and a vertical mobility change at the same time. So sometimes some people ascend, and it involves the individual moving from a group to a group in a lower stratum or spectrum, where now they may not be making as much money. We've seen a lot of shifts from middle class to lower middle class to people who are just on the basic level of income sometimes. And then we have upward mobility, as you'll see the arrow going up here. This is when a person moves from a lower position in society to a higher one in society. It can also include people occupying higher positions in the same societal group. Higher upward mobility, while seen as a good thing, can also be seen as a cost to individuals. Sometimes, as people get jobs that give them higher social mobility or upward mobility, they end up not having time to really spend as much time with their family as they would have in another position that did not require a lot of their time at the time. And then there's downward mobility. A downward mobility takes place when a person moves from a higher position in society to a lower one. It can occur within some it can occur when someone is caught performing, done something wrong and they're kicked out. We saw a lot of this with rich people being caught or and because of things that they had done that was wrong. It could be sexual harassment or sexual things, and they're kicked out of that particular group. And for some reason, another society doesn't want them, and they go through a downward mobility. And this mobility can be extremely stressful because people have a hard time going down. They don't have a hard time going up. I remember when I was coming up, people always said that no problems going down. I mean, coming up, but I sure do have some problems going down. And then we have intergenerational mobility. Intergenerational mobility happens when a social position changes from one generation to the next. And so we probably see our great grandmother's position probably change from our mother's position to your current position. Now you may have a better status, or you could be the same, or you could have gone down. That's intergenerational mobility. Again, and this happens when one generation from one generation to another. But typically, we see a change in generations when we see more education happen in the next generation from the generation before. So we have to be very careful there that we're not going backwards in knowledge, in generational mobility, because the less knowledge we have or surface knowledge we have and not the deep dive knowledge we have, it tends to cause challenges for us and could cause a backward shift for us. And then we have intra generational mobility. And that position occurs when during the lifespan of a single generation, that generation is moving throughout things. We've had so many generations right now. We have the boomers, we have the X's, we have um, the Generation Z. We have so many generations that are playing, millennial generation. We have so many generations that are out there, and we see different things happening. Sometimes, for some things, we're seeing the more knowledgeable people, the more engaged people, the more people know, the more individuals they know, the bigger their network. Those individuals may be expanding not only from education, but networks as well. So that's extremely important. Your network is very important. So next we have income types. And so I wanted to talk about that because with these intergenerational things, there are different ways we can earn income. And a lot of people think I just earn income from my job and that's the way I'm going to go about. But with all the various classes we have, from finance to accounting to psychology, sociology, and we have our JGR 100, which focuses on the individual. We have classes that help us to go out and get additional experience while we're in school, sort of like a mentoring or work study program that is going on. So we have different types of ways in school to get additional information to earn that income. And so we have to be aware of that and use our experiences that we have now and use them later on. We have negotiation classes, we have leadership classes, we have various courses that you have to take. And I used to wonder, I don't know about you, I used to wonder, why am I taking all of these classes? What's the need for these classes? What are they going to do for me? Well, all of these classes bring to them different things that we can use in various ways. So on your monitor, we talk about income types. We have earned income, income from working a job. We know about that, we're getting that. But these additional income levels or incomes that we can learn more about those as we're going through school. So we have profit income, income from buying and selling. How do we buy and sell? If I'm taking a negotiation class, how do I negotiate? How do I buy and sell a car? How do I buy and sell a house? What kind of skill sets do I need to use? What people am I working with? How do I best communicate what I'm doing? Interest income, income from lending money. If I'm lending money to someone, what kind of interest rate should I charge? My finance class taught me that how finance charges should be applied, and what's this, and what's the rule of 72. Those are things I'm learning while I'm in school. And then there's royalty income. That's income from others using your idea. Royalty income, I get royalty income on a quarterly basis, sometimes monthly, from the books I've written. So I bring in that royalty income to help me with whatever. I also, or it's an additional income. I produce it once, and once people start using it, then or buying it, I start to get royalties from that. We have dividend income, and that comes from owning stocks. So I could own a stock in a company. In your 401k, if you own an equity stock, you're going to get dividends there. If I go out and buy a couple of shares of stock doing something else, I mean, like, I have dividends that I get on one of my debit cards that I use, my stash card. I get dividends on that. Every time I buy something, I'm paying myself back with stocks. And then there's rental income, income from renting a property. I've been trying to buy some rental property now for a few months. I wish I had held on to the investments I had in real estate earlier, but I didn't. I sold them off. And now I wish I had them back, because that could have been great income for me, as well as my ability to be able to help other people sustain or keep a lower level. I don't have to, compete with somebody else at these higher prices. But if I'm able to use that income, that can help me out tremendously. We have capital gains income. And so capital gains happen with assets increasing in value. So you can have a capital gain for stocks you own. When I worked at Invesco and the bank, I always received shares of stock in the company. um, you could buy in. At one point, you just got them for free. And then you have to buy in or use some of your income for it. The rules change. But at any rate, those are capital gains that I have from those assets increasing in values. I could have an annuity policy or something of that nature, or a policy that earns value. It increases, it's gaining value because it's invested in the market. And those are capital gains that I have. You have residual income as well. And this is income paid continuously after work is done. And so some of the examples that I find myself getting residual income from is selling from like t-shirts, or selling of conference material or things of that nature. Some of the things I write, I get residual income on those as they're in the market, not just for using it. So I get a royalty income from the publisher, but I get residual income from the sales of those items that's out there. It could be merchandise, it could be clothing, whatever else I have out there. And so school education teaches us about these various things and how to look at them, but we have to be paying attention in school in order to take away from this the things that it's trying to teach us. We know we come to school to get a better job. That's earned income. We can increase our earned income by getting additional knowledge. There's no guarantee that you're going to get a better job or a different job, but you can know how to negotiate better for yourself, or you can switch over or keep or maintain. Profit income, that's again, buying and selling assets. That's profit income. I could buy right now, for example, my son's car was purchased for 22,000, but now it's selling for 34,000 based on the market. He's way up. It's one of the I've never seen such that a car increases in value. Usually when you drive off the lot, your car decreases in value. But we only paid 22,000 for the car, and that car is worth $34,000. It's unbelievable. My daughter's car is the same way. My car is the same way. We are driving assets down the road, which is a wonderful thing. It's one you don't really think about with cars. And if they are paid for, you're really doing good and could possibly use that as leverage to get some other loan or whatever. And then the interest income, when you put your money, sometimes we're not earning a lot of money in the bank, but there's several different types of things you can do to earn interest income on assets that you have. Everything is an asset if you look at it the right way. Um, so those are income, that's income types. School teaches us about these various income types. And the more knowledge we have, it allows us to be able to go to those various income types and be able to benefit from them. So again, why education? Well, the best way to improve your mobility is through education. Education provides a way for us to find opportunities and transform our economic circumstances. Now, by enhancing our education provides the potential for us to increase our equality of opportunities. So equality of opportunities. So I don't have to necessarily, I had this discussion today, and I'm very grateful. I'm a praying woman, so I'm very grateful to God first for helping to put me in this position that I get to choose where I go. And I get to choose the lifestyles I want and based on the value system that I have at this particular moment. Our values change as we go through life. At a young age, my value was X. As a mother, young mother, my values was something else. As a wife, my values enhanced and had to be more things. Or before that, the wife, I became a wife and children. As a single mom after divorce, my value system changed. So your values are constantly changing as you move through life. So education also helps us to move between income levels. So with education, the slide that I showed before this, with the various income levels, all of that matters. You're not just in school to get a better job. You're in school to learn how to use your economic power to do all of the things that you could possibly do to earn a living that's legal. So education investment increases absolute intergenerational mobility. It really does. And you may think that it doesn't. Right now, yes, I'm a professor, but there are people, if it were not for the parent being educated or something else happening, they would not have the opportunities that they have. Now, they can't keep those opportunities and keep things going without additional education. It could be education to get a certification. It could be education in other ways. But if they want to maintain, just maintain, but if they want to grow deeper in their income and equality ratios, they are going to have to learn many different things about their how to manage things, how to look at things, how to observe, and how to take the skills they already have and put them into motion. This brings me to your personal brand. So our personal brand is what people see as our identity, who they see us as, and what qualities and things they associate us with. It reveals who we are, what we offer, and what we value. So values matter. And if you want people to see a certain value coming out of you, you have to model that every day. You have to carry that with you on a daily basis. So what are included in values? Your personality, your personal brand, I'm sorry, your personality, your skills, your values. A positive personal brand creates opportunities, guys. Our mindset has to be positive about what we're doing. We have to embrace the things that we have to do temporarily in order to get the things we want in the long run. And so our action speaks volumes. They speak tons about us. And so our brand is always on showcase in school, in class, online, wherever we may be. Our personal brand is demonstrating that. I remember selling Mary Kay cosmetics once. And so everything I've done has helped me. By selling Mary Kay makeup, it helped me to understand why some people, or what the importance of how I dress when I left the house every day, and what people may see when they're seeing me. I'm not saying you have to have on makeup and all these other things, but how you dress says something about your personal brand. How you carry yourself, what kind of makeup, what kind of hairstyles you're wearing. It can be braids, but are you neat with whatever it is you're doing? You can have straight hair. Are you neat with it? Or are you all over the place? Yeah, I know my hair is kind of wild and all over the place, but that's okay. This is the style I'm wearing at this particular moment. So, how do you develop your personal brand? Well, first you have to figure out who you are. Who are you? And hopefully, through the various courses you've taken here at the school, you have some type of way figuring out who you are. Determine what you want to be known for. Define your audience. Who is your audience? We all have an audience. We are all walking around as our own C corporation. We are a corporation. I am Marilyn Carroll Corporation. So research your desired interest in industry and follow those experts in that industry. Prepare an elevator speech. We all should have an elevator speech about ourselves and what we bring to the table, and be able to say it with a positive mindset. Embrace networking, especially education related um, and work related networks. You want to embrace those networks and get an opportunity to expand your network. Um, it was hard for me one time, and I wanted to initiate something on social media or out there, a conference, and people said to me, nobody knows you. Who are you? Nobody knows you. And so it's kind of late to wait until I want to implement something before I start building that network out there on social media, especially LinkedIn. You want to build your network and you want to do it well. So grow your online presence by joining professional groups like LinkedIn, and be positive. Remember, you're always on showcase with your brand. Remember, your brand is what you with you all at all times, i.e., in your classes, your work, and your daily commute. And so that was my presentation to you, my gift to you. I hope that this resonates with you, and you get the feel from, hey, I understand what Dr. Carroll was saying. And I can take this and take note of it, and I can use this in my personal development plan always, and keep remembering that this is why I'm doing school. This is why I need to do well in my classes. It's not about the grade, it's about understanding everything that you're learning. And if you understand everything you're learning, your grade will show that. It should show that in the end. So if you're really understanding and getting it, getting everything that you need, you should get that. And remember, you're at school to get an education, but you're also in school helping to build your personal brand. And hopefully you're in school elevating your social economic mobility quotient. All right. So I'm going to stop sharing, and that's it for today. Thank you so much for joining me, and good luck on these next 2 weeks. I know you can do it. You're almost finished. Let's pull this thing through and let's knock it out the box. And let's show what we learn about ourselves and how we're implementing that into the world of work and our life with our families and all of that. Because education is something that with new knowledge we glean or take in, we're also taking that and mixing it in with that old knowledge and to develop, oh my gosh, a newfound value system, a newfound way of doing things, a newfound you. Take care.